Hi, welcome to the Mad Max channel. So, we got the Super Conqueror. Correction, the Conqueror in front of us. So, the Tier 9 Conqueror, once you've grinded that out and find out it's a good tank, you then decide, shall I upgrade to the Tier 10? Now, that's a good question, glad you asked. So, the Conqueror to the Super Conqueror, what's the difference? Well, a little bit faster reload and a couple millimeters of extra armor. Quite literally only a couple millimeters. So, the turret on the Conqueror is 254 millimeters on the front, 88 on the sides, and 69 on the rear of it. So, Super Conqueror, 279, 88, and 69. Well, that's only a couple of millimeters, isn't it? Whole armor makes the difference. 152 on the front, both of them. 101 on the Super, and the same crappy 38 millimeters on the arse. So, reload speeds. That is the only main difference besides extra health pool. Health pool on the Conqueror is 1950. Super Conqueror 2400. Woohoo. So, Super Conqueror's reload with Gunrama invents. Potential damage is 3269 with my current crew configuration. The Conqueror's is 2517. But things are obviously more complicated than that, because the Super Conqueror has just replaced the FV215B, which overall, besides two teeny weeny little factors, was actually slightly better, but not by much. So, Super Conqueror has the exact same gun depressions. It actually has a slower aiming time, bizarrely enough, because the Conqueror's is 1.78 and the Super Conqueror's is 1.88. Same accuracy, it's just slow reload. Is it actually worth grinding out? Now, before you ask, Super Conqueror's main hull armor is basically the same as the FV215B, except for the 5B has a couple more millimeters on its arse. But the turret on the on the Conqueror as well as the FV is basically the same, except for the FV has more side armor and more rear armor on it. The traverse of the FV was, well, quite a lot more, with 40.95. Super Conqueror's is 2914. Yeah, 2914 for the Conqueror. So, with that in mind, we're going to have a look at some gameplay and continue talking about a tank that is not as good as it should have been. Now, World of Tanks has decided not to put the Chieftain in, which would have been a different tank. Now, the biggest gripe was that the FV was too different because the turret was on the back, because it was slightly different. So what they decided to do was go for a tank which is practically identical. I know, it doesn't make much sense, does it? The Chieftain, yes, I understand, it's a Cold War tank, and when it came in date it would conflict with other people's requests of other tanks. But quite frankly, they should have just stuck with the 20 with the FV. Simply because, well, they've gone for a tank which is identical to the predecessor. So, is the tier 10 Super Conqueror worth the grind? I'm not too sure. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's got a fantastic gun, but it's the same as the Conquerors, with a slightly faster reload. Is it worth it because of its armour? Well, it has a bit of a spaced armour on the front hull. You know, high explosive rounds might struggle a little bit, but quite frankly, 152mm isn't really going to stop much. It's not like I'd be using high explosive ammunition against it. Turret armour with the spacing, it'll cause a couple of problems with some tanks. But, you know, big German TDs will go, well, it's alright, we'll go through that. And then, you know, it's 88 on the sides of it. And it's not like the Commander's Cupola is invincible either. I mean, come on, first hit. And technically they would have been looking up towards me, so that would have made it impossible really to normally hit it, but it's hit. None of the usual suspects in that corner. View ranges. The Super Conquerors is 511 compared to the FV's 524. Detectability. The FV had a small lead. Saying that, the FV's gun depression was -715, whereas the Super Conquerors is -10. You know, it's only an extra 3. You know, like big difference again. Well, that sounded like gold ammo. Typical singe of I don't care about your ammo. So, yeah, again, the question is it worth bothering upgrading? The basic way of explaining this is jumping from the Conqueror to the Super Conqueror is the same as the T29 to the T32. You got the same gun, slightly faster reload, slightly better turret armor, and no one will say that the T32 is a well worth spent XP pot. Because clearly the M103 is a better tank. T29, that is an awesome tank, same as the Conqueror. Well, it's a massive different change, you know, comparing the M6 to the T29. But yeah, the Super Conqueror, I don't know. As it goes for a tier 10 tank, it's just not. It's not got armor like the Germans. Sure, the gun's good. Sure, the reload is awesome. But it's just not telling me I want it. It's like I've got an E100, but I rarely use it. And the main reasons why tier 10 tanks have a bit issue is the running costs on them. Do you want to go from the good tier 9 Conqueror to the tier 10 tank to have tier 10 matchmaking with crazy people who know how to screw you within seconds? I mean, I'm not saying I'm a good player. I'm probably very much average. Slug that being the weak spot. On to my recommendations. Would I recommend a grind to the tier 10 Super Conqueror? Quite frankly, no. It is basically comparing the T29 versus T32. Most people want to get past T32 quickly enough because it's a mediocre upgrade, and this is what Super Conqueror is. Sure, it's got a little bit extra armor on the turret, it's got spaced armor on the hull. No. So with this, I'd like to say thank you for watching. If you disagree with me, give an unlike. If you agree with me, give me a like. And if you really fancy, you're welcome to subscribe. And enjoy your day, and catch you next time.